So in this lecture, I will introduce some morphological terminologies related to the roots and stems. Okay. Okay. So here we are going to start looking at some of those terms. So here we go, starting with the basic parts of the plant body. So plants here, okay, we can divide it into these two main parts: the shoot and the root. Shoot is above ground, is above ground parts, and the roots are the below ground parts. So most of the terminology we are going to use applies to the shoot, and it's out there. So however, the roots have been hidden, and they just isn't as much terminology compared to above ground characters. So roots are also a little bit less regular in their form than the shoots. So in the shoots, we find a couple really important parts. There is an apex. Okay, there's an apex of the shoot, and we can blow it up here, as shown here in the shoot tip. And I'm not going to go into too many details about what's shown in that shoot tip, but I will emphasize one thing that we can see both in the extended diagram on the left, and that concerns the relationship between the leaf and the bud, which is the axillary bud. We have the leaf here and also the axillary bud, and there is the axillary bud primordium. So there's axillary primordium in the axil leaf. So axil mean armpit. We can see, we know that this is a leaf. Okay, we know that this is leaf because there is a bud in the axil. Okay, this is, if you don't know what's the characteristics, it probably is it's not all, probably can say, oh, this is like, looks like a leaf. So you want to determine, is it a leaf or not? Look at the axillary bud. If there is a axillary bud in the axil, which means that that is a leaf. So we know that this is a leaf because there is a bud in its axil. It's not always possible to tell, of course, if what you've got is a leaf or a part of a leaf, but you can tell if it is a whole leaf, because if you look in that axillary position, you will find a bud if it's a leaf. So if there is a leaf, there is a bud, there is a leaf. It is a leaf. If it is a part of a leaf, might look exactly like a leaf, but it's a part of a leaf, there will be no bud there. So this relationship of leaf and bud is very, 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 very important. So the place where the leaf is attached on the stem, so is called the node. So this is the node. Okay. The internode is the place that is between the nodes. So between this and this is the internodes. So the internodes are between the two adjacent places where leaves are attached. So that is the most basic part of shoot structure. Now the axillary bud can grow out there. So the axillary bud can grow out there. Okay, they can grow out there, and here it is, and it grows out of to form the lateral branch. So this axillary bud can grow the lateral branch. So on the root side, we have also a root apex called the root apical meristem here, and then there are some root hairs and lateral roots. So there are lateral roots. Okay. So, and we are not going to really deal with much of any of those in this course, but at least that's the very basic terminology about the shoot and also about the root. So here's roots. So I start the simplest one. Of course, the roots. Here's root types. This is about the only slide we are ever going to have on roots, probably. More details are discussed in the textbook. You can find over there. Basically, there is two main types of roots: the taproot and also the fibrous roots. Okay. The taproot type, you might think of something like a carrot, and a fibrous root type something like a grass. So we also have this prop root, because and then this hostorial, basically the parasite. We can have the prop root in the mangrove plants. Okay. So roots, unlike stems, they don't have, or probably I can say don't have any nodes and internodes. So they have irregular branching and produce uh, indigenous lateral roots. Upon seed germination, usually the radicle elongates into a primary root, forming a taproot, but several other variations may be encountered. Okay, so these are types of roots. You can look at page 57 and 58 in the textbook and looks at the different types of terminologies describing the roots. Let's just review again a little bit. We talked about the shoot, okay, and we said that the shoot is that stem part and the associated leaves. So that means the shoot. So you can, so when talk about stem, sometimes I need to, we need to look at to associate it with the associated leaves also. So probably that's where some get confused between the shoot and stem. But basically that's try to differentiate what is stem and the associated leaves or the shoot. What differentiate between stem and shoot? Sorry. So we know that the stem has nodes and internodes. That's the first characteristics of stems. And the associated leaves occur at the nodes. Okay, and they have a leaf, and that's supposed to say with an axillary bud. And we've seen that in this picture already. So we've seen this in this picture already, just as a review. So there's our auxiliary buds. Okay, that's our auxiliary buds. And then this is our leaves. And then the leaves grow and branches, or the buds grow out into a lateral branch. This is lateral branch. And there's all kind of variation of these types of leaves. And of course, we can look at different type of bud also. So again, bud is a short embryonic stem covered with bud scales and developing leaves, and often found in the leaf axils. Okay, buds and buds are frequently helpful in identification and may present considerable diversity. Of course, you can refer back to the textbook for the more detailed explanation. So there's all kind of variation on these types of stem structures. Again, this is our stem structures, right? uh, there are one we are going to look on this slide is mainly a bulb here. I found this very interesting. Based on my experience talking to students, when I have a physical discussion, they say so. Oh, just I get a lot of wow from the students. That's we are going to look on this slide is what we to stress out is the bulb here. Okay, and that's what this picture of our onion here. So when you're cutting your onions longitudinally, so when you look down here at the base, and look down here in the base uh, of the onion, you can see here at the base, here is the stem. This is the stem. Only the small part, the basal plate here is the stem. And all of the luscious, the one that we eat, the one that we enjoy, I don't know, I enjoy my onion so much. I like it fried, cooked well, and then I like the sweet taste of the onion. So we don't see all the luscious onion stuff. These are the leaves actually. So we don't see any buds here. Of course, they are because the buds are down here. There are little tiny buds that don't really develop in those axils of those leaves, but we can see the leaves in the stem. So this is what we call a bulb. Okay, this is what we call a bulb. So there's a number of plants onions included that have bulbs. The other types of stems that are shown here are either specific to certain kinds of groups, or this kind of really weird looking stem here is specific to the cactaceae or the cactus, and these two over here are specific types uh, of stems that are very interesting, but they don't occur in all habitats. They only are kinds of stems that will occur in what is called Mediterranean style climates. So these caudex and mesocaudiform stems. And continuing our study to of stem structures, so we see a couple of them of stem structure here that are for me, I think is very important. I mean, I say important, probably I can say is quite common. Again, this kind of structure here is the cactaceae, what you call as a cladodes. The other ones that are important or that somewhat important is the comb. Okay, so it's a vertical fleshy underground stem covered with some scale leaves. So there's a leaves. Okay, and with a terminal bud. Okay, there's a terminal bud. It's a plant like crocus. It's best known for producing the spice saffron. Okay, so from you can produce a saffron from the filaments that grows inside the flower. So basically, like unlike the onion you see the stem is very bad at the base, and then all the luscious part are the leaves, but the leaves is always just a protective scale, and all inside here is the stem in the middle. Don't worry about the come right now. Okay, don't we don't worry about come right now. Then here it is type of fascicle. Fascicle means bundle. It's a type of short shoot. A short shoot is just a shoot with short internodes, and the fascicles occur in things like the pine family, or the genus Pinus. Rhizomes here, rhizomes here. Rice here means root. It's very interesting, as rice is mean root, and the suffix om means not. So which means not. This is not a root. Okay, rhizome is not a root. Okay, this is a stem, and so rhizome are not roots, and the name literally says that. So these are underground stems. The rhizome also have a peculiar kind of structure, also that's illustrated here, and this kind of structure goes like this. So here's it grows like underneath the ground, and then it turn up. Okay, it turns up, and then the plants come out here, and the new bud uh, here comes in the axil of a leaf. It grows off long and turns up, and there's a new plant grows out there here. So this what this is, and then after that there's over and then they start the new plants here, and then they start to vertically grows over here, and then start plant grows of the plant here. This is called what we call as a sympodial growth. So some more shoot types. The main ones we want to look at here are things like tendrils. There's a tendril. This is tendrils, which are for the climbing. So again, this is a tuber. What we call is a tuber. A potato is a tuber. So which means so the potato that you buy from the shop is technically a stem. Okay, can you tell me why? Okay, let me know during the discussion in the class. There are also thorn. So this thorn is also part of the stem, that which are the sharp things. So we call it a thorn, and then the other two times we call it as stolons and scape. They are not so common, but the stolon here is interesting because they occur in strawberry. So if you go to Cameron Highland and take a look at this plant, you've probably seen the little stems that come out with the middle strawberries in the middle, and they grow along the ground, and then root at the nodes to form another strawberry plant. So they just grow like that. Okay, that's for strawberry stolons. There are a number of different habits in which plants grow. There are at least three terms only on here that we are really going to be concerned with. If I can say, I look at my note now. Okay, first is the arborescent here. So arborescent, which means a tree-like, anything that you feed, all mostly in the rainforest, the big tree, we call it a arborescence. Second is a caulescence, which means caules is a stem, and you notice here is the stem, so which means with a stem, this is a caulescent. So there is a stem here, and then there's another one is Acaulescence. So acaulescence, the word a at the beginning of the term means not. So this means that acaulescence is not a stem. So the stem here is down here. This is only the stem, and then all of these are the inflorescence. We'll talk about the inflorescence later. So it's the whole stem. It's have very short internodes. Okay. So the other terms are things you can look up if you need to do. I think the cesspitos, this is cesspitos, which means clumping. Saffrotescens here means semi-shrub-like, and then these other terms you should try to get in touch with exactly how the plant grows along the ground. So how the plant grows along the ground. So you can have the prostrate, rampant, and decumbent. Uh, so sometimes it's roots at the node, sometimes it doesn't, etc. Some it's very interesting for me because some broadleaf weeds have this kind of characters. So we covered a little bit of this already. There's the tendril, this tendril leaf, which is the climbing part of the plant. There are some spines, and there's different types of spines that can occur. There's a few spines here. So stipules, you have the stipules are actually quite important in looking at the structure of leaf scars. So you look at the stipules here, and then also to look at the leaf scars, and then to look at the leaf buds, and also look at the leaves. Stipules. Okay, stipules are two little area next to the leaf scar or next to the petiole. If the petiole is still on that look like still on that look like leaves. Okay, so you can look. Okay. So just to differentiate, what's the difference between thorn and also spine? So thorn is part of thorn is a branch or auxiliary bud is auxiliary bud modified into a hard sharp structure. It's an auxiliary bud. So being the deep and then it being is seated deep and having a vascular connection. So they have the vascular connection. So it's part of the stem, as opposed to prickles, which are mere superficial outgrowths without vascular connection. While spine is like a thorn but generally weaker and developing from the leaf or the stipule. So that's difference between the thorn and also the spine. Thorns may bear leaves, so may bear flowers, or may be branch, but not the spine. So I hope you guys now can understand some basic terminologies of roots and stem. Uh, Again, please read the textbook and shoot me with question during our discussion later on. Thank you.